Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the long-awaited continuation of the Railroads Online series. I do apologise for it being such a long time since my last video, but the heat here in the UK has been causing many issues to my PC. I'd get halfway through trying to record this episode, and my computer would shut off, and recording would corrupt, and it's a whole mess. That I just decided it'd be a lot easier if I just waited until it calmed down. And so hopefully, given it's been almost a month since the last episode, and I do apologise for that. But hopefully, the heat in this country and in my room has calmed itself, and so we'll be able to get through this episode without my computer turning off and corrupting the recording. Because I'd like to say this is take 6 of trying to do this video, I believe. I can't remember at this point. It's been a while. I do remember on our last venture that we were on our way to the sawmill to go and turn our recently connected lumber into some lovely planks and beams so we can start making even more money on our quest to connect the entire map. Now, I have been reading your comments and responding to a few of you during the time that the episodes have not been coming out. And the plan for this series, or my railroad, is going to be a sort of mainline approach in the future. So currently the the logging camp needs a rework to incorporate this, but it'll be a case of running a mainline everywhere and then having small branches off, for example, to come into the logging camp. So we might continue the main line this way, and then the logging camp would be a branch off, which means that we'd be able to run faster locomotives that don't need to be able to go up hills. Places like up here in the iron mine, if I remember rightly, the iron mine is actually up on a hill. Not entirely sure on that, but between the iron mine and the smelter would be its own separate subline. So there'd be a exchange station somewhere here where we move the cars from one line to another. They would then come up this way, and then they'd be brought back to be hooked back up to the main line. So we can incorporate more locos, more cars, and also to keep more of a mainline loop, I guess, of this map, because that is the plan. Mainline loop. Yeah, we're going to go this way, kind of keep around the edge of the map. And then this internal stuff will be another loop, kind of semi-mainline, that will join us at the freight depot. But without further ado, I think we should continue getting to hooking up the sawmill. So speaking about the mainline plans that I've had since the last time I recorded this episode, I'm going to try and bring our mainline out and over the water here, kind of cut across this bit, and then have a parting or a switch that allows the double track to do its loop around the sawmill. So I think we're going to start from the bridge and work backwards to make it a little bit easier. So I want to end up to the left of that water tower, I think. I believe that is a water well. Yeah, it's a water well. We want to aim to the left of it. So we want to aim for more like that little bit of land. We want to aim to be on this bit of land here when we land, when we come back to ground, I guess. I don't really know what I'm saying. It's been a hot minute since I played this game. I have to remind myself of the keybinds as well. We're going to do a low bridge or a high bridge. I think we go with a high-ish bridge. We don't want to go too high here, but I do kind of want to use more of these steel truss bridges. What am I looking for? We want to get some of these, I think. Where am I looking to run from? Yeah, we're mostly straight to that. Nope, I didn't want to start building, but we want to run kind of that direction from here, I believe. We want to get some height, but we want to keep it mostly 2%-ish grade. You know, actually, might be a better idea to work this the other way around. Start with the switches, then do the bridge afterwards, because then we know where the switches are going to be, and I can bring them off the main line without interrupting everything else going on. That's probably a better plan. So we're going to start with the annoying one, which will be doing the right switch from this side. Gonna put it there. Then we do a little bit of straight track just to get some separation from straight mode. Do 10 meters. Yeah, 10 meters. And then we're gonna do a 45 crossover like this because, well, it's the best you've got to work with in this game. You only get 45-degree crossovers. You don't get every angle that you need. So I'm going to delete this bit, this crossover, this bit of track, have it sweep out, come back, and then it will. No, it won't. I need to curve this section more if I want that 45 not to end up straight back into our other main line. Well, we're coming off the main line. The main line has its own curve radius. I'm going to say 50 is probably an alright radius for these minor turns. Bring it back down to 10. There you go, 50. Do a 18-meter curve. I don't know exactly what I want from this. That 45 is now straight. Straighter. You're not close enough. It's close enough for me. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be close. We want to once again bring this back to 0. Bring this back to a smaller grid. And then just run this out this way for 50 meters, sure. Actually, yeah, that's already kind of curving this way. Maybe a little bit more than 50, maybe 75. Go another 20, no, go 70 meters for right now. 70 meters should be plenty. Now, I do remember someone gave me a tip about the fact that this game has a parallel mode that I never paid attention to because I never knew it existed. Back when I started playing this game, it was still the janky connection physics. You didn't even have these nice smooth curves. It was doing your best to make straight lines curve, which was a nightmare. Fun, made for some very interesting building, but a nightmare nonetheless. Because you'd end up probably at 10 mile an hour at best around most corners that I made, because they were janky as hell. But thank God for this new spline system that they brought in a long while ago, I do know, but thank God for it. Because it makes smooth corners so much nicer. Gonna run this way, connect it up to this crossover. No, we're not gonna connect up to the crossover just yet. I need to bring some track back and then work out how we're doing the loop around the sawmill. Where does this track want to go? This track is probably going to end up going this way, really, but I need one of these tracks to swoop down. What are we doing? Right-hand drive here. Yeah. Go back to the sawmill first. We're going to work this out with the sawmill, connect it up to the main line, and then work it out from there. Because I want to be able to pick up goods and then leave in both directions. Although I don't know if that's going to be possible with the way I'm building this bridge, but I might just have to back out onto the main line, which is a horrible idea, really, but it might have to be the idea we go with. But most importantly, I need a track to end up over here. That looks straight, I think. No, I was, what, 1 off? Like a few degree off there? Do this again. I want this to look nice. Actually, I can do so much easier with one of these, probably. Yeah, because that is definitely straight. If that's not straight, then the map's not straight. But it is. So we have to run to about here, straight. Then we can allow for the 50-degree curves, which will be around the majority of industries. We want this curving, I think, somewhere this direction or thereabouts, because this will be one of the intake. No, this needs to curve way more. This needs to curve so much more. It needs to be going more like this way. Yeah. Then that will be hooking up into here. I also need to do a switch that allows them to go off in that direction. Now I'm actually going to bend this to more of like a 90-degree corner. which probably will cause issues for trying to hook up to you. Because no matter what I do here, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a train to do this curve. This curve is definitely too tight. Right switch right. Grab this and hook it in there. Like, that's way too tight of a curve for any loco that we currently have. I'd better off if I do this way. Go back to this angle. Where's the track going currently? I don't see it. There it is. Track currently is over here. And we need to split so we can get a train going both directions. There should be a good-ish location. See what freeform does with this. Freeform might be nice to me. It's not normally too bad. How does this curve look? That is pretty fluid. Pretty flowing curve. We're going to make sure we have a straight line here again. We're going to go wall again, just because the wall makes everything so much easier. We're going to downsize the grid to 10. There we go. Run it like this, all the way to the end of that platform. That looks curved. That looks the smallest amount curved, but honestly, it does not bother me. No, connect to the actual track that I built, please. There you go. Now, will that corner be too tight for a loco? Hopefully not at the speeds we're coming around here. Hopefully we'll be doing some nice slowish speeds. Everything will just flow nicely. That's where the sawmill needs me though, because I feel like the sawmill has plenty of logs and lumber all around it. Has some rocks too. Be a mine as well. Stubborn bushes don't like to pop out the ground. Where are we going? There. You are definitely going to need to get out of the ground. You will. You're already gone. We'll get rid of you. Get rid of you. You. Get rid of this. Get rid of that bush. Get rid of that. And then get rid of these two. And then we're hooking this straight up to there, because this is the left side of the track, and this will be the left side of the sawmill. Yeah, that is how this works. Do I do a loop around the sawmill, maybe? You know, maybe I do. Maybe I do a loop. I do enable a loop to be formed. We're going to go left switch right, and then we're going to work it from here. Yeah. Because that means that anything that's just dropped off logs can then do another loop around. Not that it would, actually. Yeah, no, it wouldn't be doing a loop because, well, it's just dropped off logs. Ain't got the car to pick up the other stuff, but we're going to go over what works. Not with how I think it should. We're going to put a switch off for the sawmill way back here, because then it gives it time to do the loop in the sawmill, or gives it space if the other track is coming from all the way back here. Yeah, that works out. That sounds like a pretty solid plan in my head, because all of this is impromptu. The plan. Damn. Don't know what happened there. But the plan I had for this episode went out the window a long time ago. Well, fell out my brain a long time ago. Probably on the third time I tried making this episode. Because at that point I was just like, we'll do anything to make an hour's worth of an episode that's interesting for you guys to watch. But even then my computer was just like, nah. Tried doing simple things. But no matter what I tried, this computer was not having it. Apparently when it's 42 degrees in my room, my cooling fans are not good enough to keep my GPU or my CPU cool enough that my PC doesn't want to shut itself off. Which, albeit, I don't think they were designed for being in 42 degree heat. Don't think I was either, but that's a different question entirely. This room turns into a sauna every time it gets hot. So it's been fun. But I am very much glad to be back and to be recording a video for you guys to watch. And I hope you all enjoy. I think that's about enough rambling and complaining about the heat. So we're going to get back to doing this, which is mass deforestation of an entire woodland, pretty much. Just so I can have some clear space to work with to build a bridge over water. I don't really need to build a bridge over, but why would I not? It looks cool. That's half what this game is about. This game is about making money and building things that look cool. So from this track, we're going to go this way and cut down these trees here. You take those rocks out. These bushes need to go, so does that bush. I think this set of rocks needs to go. But from this point across over here, from these crossovers, we're going to go up at 2.5 degrees, maybe 2. I know Montezuma can't really handle steep inclines. I think 2 degrees is doable on an empty train. I don't know if it's doable with a loaded train. Is the problem. Don't think it is. Anyways, this weird bow shape is coming together. I want to bring our track out from this switch down here. Actually, probably first work out where it's going to go. Where I put the switch to link the loop and the entry from this side. Probably on the loop, I'm going to give it some sort of shunter yard as well. Because I want to do this in a very multiplayer style, but single player way. Of logs will come in, we'll have a shunter loco in the sawmill to deal with those inbound logs. Where are we going to go? We're going to go this way. So probably about here for right now. Logs will come in on this line. The mainline loco will then detach in a siding, leave the log cars for the shunter loco in its engine shed to come out, drop them off in the basin. There'll be plank cars or beam cars or whatever you want to call them. Also in that siding, they're empty, ready to be loaded with beams. What's the one? Beams and planks? I think it's planks and beams. They'll be ready to be loaded up. They'll then be put back into that siding once they've been loaded. I clicked the wrong button. But yeah, they'll be loaded up, put back in the siding, and then the mainline loco, whether it's still here, whether a new one has turned up, can come and collect them so that they can be taken to whatever industry they're going to, wherever it ends up being. We want to bend this a bit more to the right. 100-meter curve, maybe? Yeah, that works. Put that about here, and then put a right switch right from this jump, from there. And then we're going to freeform this and hope that it doesn't look too bad. It shouldn't. Come out of precise mode. Hopefully this isn't too tight of a bend either. Let's have a look at the map first. How tight of a bend does that look? That doesn't actually look all that bad. That looks doable for a little shunter engine and some cars. So I am very hopeful that well, it is doable. If it's not doable, then whatever loco I have come around here to begin with will struggle. Because with string line and pull everything off the rail, or the rail, I guess. I don't actually know what happens other than string lining. I know string lining happens a lot if the track's too tight. I know on the bigger locos, too tight of a corner, they'll derail because, well, if you're trying to pull something too big through a narrow gap, it's going to break in one way or another. But I don't know what would happen to a shunting engine. Like if we took a Betsy for right now, for example, as our shunting engine, I don't know what would happen if the corner was too tight for a Betsy. Even though I doubt it would be because it's a Betsy. So thinking around any corner. I bet money that thing at some point during the early stages of this game, people made that thing to a 90-degree corner, and it did it. Because people were like, well, Betsy's Betsy. Betsy can do anything. And damn right, yeah, she could. she could pull 10 loaded iron ore wagons back up the hill towards the iron ore mine because you forgot to load the 11th, and she wouldn't have a care in the world. Why can't I get this tree come? Right, I managed to make something else come down back here, but I couldn't get that tree. Can't get that tree. But I got something else back here. We're gonna get rid of you. I feel like you're a bit close, and those leaves might have a hitbox. You can go, and so can you, if you let me. There you go. Right, so we're gonna run this out a little bit, only like a couple of meters or so, just to get some separation between switches before I start making a bowyard, which will be a right switch right. I want to go back to this, demolish more trees. Doesn't need to be a massive yard, maybe 4 or 5 sidings. Then we also want to have a engine shed, but I'm going to take a small section of track, run 10 meters this way, just so we have some separation, and then I'm going to start left switch, and I'm going to do 5 meters, then left switch, then 5 meters. No, not snowy. We don't get snow in the desert. Then 5.1 is close enough. Then a left switch. Then 5 meters. I saw it, but it's not going to come back to me, so oh well. 5.1 again. Left switch, what are we on? This is 3, so we'll make 4th, and then we'll have the shunter shed at the end of this switch. So 5 meters, left shunter switch, and then the engine shed will be off the end of this. I'm actually going to curve this as well, because why not? Give it a 100-meter curve, 100-meter radius. Come out to around about here, 42 meters exactly. Facilities? Yeah, engine sheds. And we're going to work with this nice brown one. This nice brown one, we're going to put it back here. Then we're going to put a switch. Nope, more left switch. And then we're just going to run these tracks into the doors. Would help if I actually hooked it up in the right place. Hook you up and hook you up. There we go. Nice little engine shed. And probably want to give it some sort of facilities, like a little water tower. This thing should be fine. But this thing snaps to the tracks. What? Wish I'd known about that. And it's probably for now just going to stay as a wood train. So if you rotate this thing 90 degrees, put the firewood. Wait, no. I can't get the firewood side to come closest. That's annoying, actually. I guess I won't do that. I'm going to use a wood rick. Maybe 2, because I feel like it's going to need it. We're going to put 1. Actually, no, we're going to rotate this thing sideways, because it's going to look cooler like this. 1 there. And then put another one almost in the same place. We're going to angle it this way, actually, and put it there. There you go. Just like that. Now I want to come out of fly mode. Didn't really want to be in fly mode, but it does that to you when you're building things. And yeah, clear out these switches right now, because these switches are irrelevant. The whole shunting yard can be put on hold until I actually get a second locomotive. Right now, don't have the money, nor do I have the need for it. This is going to run pretty straight. back to, there you go, 0. And we're going to run forwards for, not quite sure. Or are we? Because that looks like a cliff face that I'm about to walk into. Yeah, I don't like the look of what's in front of me. We're going to do 120 meters straight. I'm going to put crossovers here. Now try and line up the switches to these. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then we're going to bend. Uniform bend of the yard. Doing minus 50. As long as it clears this wall, everything will be fine, and it does. Okay, I guess 77.9 is as far as it goes. So I want to do another 12.1. That should be a 90-degree corner here. So we should be able to then place out these. The lines would then run into these. Do we have space? Yeah, we do have space to straight. Yeah. Do another bit of straight. And then from here, what, do another 100 meters maybe? Don't know how much I really need. Go to about here. Here. We've got 80 meters. And then we'll throw a switch this way. Then we'll do a rinse and repeat of what we had originally, which was 10 meters. Keep doing something. It was 10, then switch, then 5, then switch, then 10. Yeah. 10, then switch left, then switch right with the left stand. Then 5, switch right, left stand. Then 5. Hope I've actually found 5. There you go. Switch right, left stand. And then this little corner can be taken off. Those two are going to be a little bit tricky to do, given they're not going to go perfectly into where they're supposed to go. But hopefully they're not too annoying to deal with, because I do want to keep this yard pretty big. These two aren't going to line up right now, but actually if I pull these back 1 each, maybe 2, do I reckon I'd get a good enough curve out of that? I'd have to go 3, but then going 3 back, meaning that we are way out of sync with the corner now. Not sure I entirely agree with doing this, but at the same time, I'm more interested in capacity over looks. So having 4 usable tracks to me is a lot more useful than it looking nice and flying well. What are you doing? Why would I want track doing this? No. I want you usable, not roller coaster. I have no need for a roller coaster right now. Roller coaster is something you do later when you're having fun. There we go. We're going to break all of these. I'm going to do inside corner first and hope that it does link up nicely. I don't think I ran. Yeah, no, I did. I did do what I thought I was doing. Well, what I was about to say I didn't do, but I did do it. And this one little bush is going to get in the way. Either that or it's not going to let me do it. And that'd be even more annoying. Just realised I might need to get rid of this massive boulder. There you go. Hopefully it does let me do it. It shouldn't be anything other than the fact that it was overlapping with a shrub. Because it's let me overlap tracks and stuff before. Oh, I saw green. There you go. Then here's lane 2. Lane 2 is going to plug straight into this one, wherever it goes green, like that. lane 3, going to run around the outside. As long as it stays outside of this track, everything will be fine. And then so will lane 4. There we go. And then this last one, which has a weird little, well, this one has a weird little kink to it. This one's not that bad. How are these tracks for over? Ooh, that got close. Those tracks got a little bit close. I don't know if those could be usable without having to relay them on either a fixed radius or just pushing them out a bit further on this end. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. This one's lovely. This one stays all the way out here the whole time. This one, these two are pretty much kissing railroad tires. It's not very comforting. I think I want to use that to store cargo, but it will be seen when we first put our cars in it, so I don't have a problem with it right now. If it ends up not working when we actually go to put freight cars in it, then I will pull the freight cars out, tear it up, and relay it. But if it works, it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Chopping some trees. Chopping some trees. Chop in the trees. Chop in the trees. Chopping some trees. And a rock. Oh look, there's a bush. Another one. Taller bush. That's going to be stubborn. There we go. A little cactus. Get rid of that tree while I'm here. Before it has a chance to cause any issues for future plans. And now the chance to link all this up. You flow kind of nicely into there. You are going to be almost a straight shot, I think, into here. So are you. Maybe this 5 millimeter. That'd be tiny. This 5 meter spacing has actually done some decent work, some decent heavy lifting in keeping these tracks separate and somewhat straight. Because the bit of separation gives them plenty of time to straighten out. Now, it's going to move before I've actually clicked on what I want. But like, you can barely notice that the tracks curve, except when you get to about this part, but that's because the switches are now further this way than the track is. So I think we've been doing some pretty good progress here, making this nice 4-lane shunter yard with the bypass lane. But I'd say it's going pretty well. We'll take out some of this extra stuff here. Sorry, just replying to a text. Should normally have that off during recording, but something more important is happening at the moment. So I like to keep my phone on, just in case. What we're going to do here, I think we need to go pretty much immediately to a switch if we wanted to get a chance to throw this line to be able to pick up the beams. So we're going to do just that. We're going to throw a switch down immediately. Well, a little bit of spacing, but pretty much immediate. And then have this curve. Hopefully to a nice curve. Right round to the point where it's going to veer away from me because it's afraid of me. We're going to go precise placement, I guess. And then bend that curve in until it decides it wants to flow somewhere in the direction that I'm heading. So we're going to start off with an 80 meter curve to 100 meters. And then I'm going to free place the rest of this because it's nice and smooth from here. Another 80 or so meters right into there. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Take up that bush, take up this tree, take up those rocks, take up that tree, this tree, that bush, that little tiny fern. damn, this place is grown out for a desert. I was expecting loads of cactus. More trees than anything. Why won't you go away? Oh, because I'd already cut you down. That's why. No, you can go, you can go. I see those little green bits. Yes, I do. Those little ferns are the most deadliest things in this game. Because you can't see them, and by the time you might have noticed them, you run them over and now your train is derailed. And it's the most annoying thing to deal with ever. Because you never know when it's going to happen, you never know when one's going to appear, unless you're really on the ball when it comes to making the tracks to begin with. Which is what I have learned over my years of playing this game. Well, 300 or so hours. Yeah, we're going to stop at 75 and then see how the curve looks from there. Right, unprecise mode. How is it going to look curving other than acting like a roller coaster again? Okay, maybe I should have done straight mode. Because it does not want to follow me in the slightest. Okay, we're going to bend it again this way. Wait till it hones into view. It'll be going to not 60, but not maybe 65. Yeah, 65 works. Place it to there. Then again, freeform this last little bit. Because it's so much easier to freeform little bits rather than trying to precise mode all of it. And once again, it snaps to the wrong bit. It snaps to the... There you go. It snaps to where the sawmill has snapping points for when you're building track, which I really wish had shown up when I was trying to put the track in front of that place to begin with. But then when we were trying to lay tracks like this, and it decides to snap to it instead, a little bit annoying. Yep, those look flush. Means I believe we now have a full sawmill loop, and we have 5 storage yards. Well, 4 storage lanes. A loco storage, water tower, some wood bits, and I think we are ready to accept our first load of lumber from our Montezuma that is way over here. I can't teleport to it. So annoyingly, we do have to now do the grueling process of flying all the way back down there. But it means we get to go have a look at our work. And actually, given we're here anyways, we might as well resume to doing, not resume to what I would have been doing last episode before we reached our hour-ish of runtime, which is hooking up the track, reconnecting this side so we can do a full loop, come straight back to the logging camp, and get another load of logs to bring straight back to the sawmill. Now, I do wonder where this parallel mode lies. I know you can hold control for a straight track, which is great, but I do wonder where in the menu lies the parallel function, because that would be so useful going forwards. Because here we have walls, turnovers, rails. These are all normal rails. Is it part of straight mode or precise mode, should I say? Doesn't appear to be. I actually have no idea how you what's the word? My brain's gone again. My brain's just died. It's just left the chat. My brain is just gone. Parallel mode. That's what we're talking about. What controls? If we go here, we go controls. Is there like a parallel button? Place checks, precise. Lay track straight, redo and undo. Don't even know those were a thing. Locomotives, menus. Purchase menu, scroll and chat, open the wiki. I don't see a parallel mode. So if whoever you were that commented last video, I believe it was, might be my first video on this series, about the parallel mode, if you could please let me know where I find it, how I activate it, whatever you want to call it. It would be greatly appreciated on my behalf. And I bet it would be greatly appreciated by all of you as well. Not having to sit here and watch me lay double the track when I could do it all in one go using parallel mode. The only thing I'm now looking at that's going to be annoying is the fact that I'm pretty sure there are things on at least this side of the track, if not on the other side of the track, that I'm going to have to clear out as we go without accidentally derailing Montezuma. Oh, snap. There you go. Like this thing here. I wouldn't really call that a cactus, but I'm not sure what that is. I don't know my desert wildlife enough. Desert wildlife? Plant life. Wildlife would imply there's like a lion or something. Lion? What ground animals are there in the American I was about to say American outback. American deserts like Arizona, Utah. I thought this is Utah. Maybe it's Arizona. It could be Colorado actually. Colorado is very big in the narrow gauge railroad. More than Utah and Arizona were. Because you have what was it? There's a lot of Colorado railroads out there that I actually really wanted to go and visit, but never had the time to travel. But those railroads are very well put together. I can't remember what it is. The DSG? DSG? No. It's not the Rio Grande, is it? No, the Rio Grande's somewhere else. I'm really butchering. Let me say that us Brits say that Americans are bad at geography, when half the world takes the piss out of the Americans for their poor geography, and here I am. I cannot remember. I'm probably getting something mixed up between North Dakota or something and Colorado, and you guys will be fully in your rights to grill me in the comments for my complete and utter lack of knowledge. But I will have to do my own research and figure out what it is that I'm talking about. Because I know there is a narrow gauge railroad in Colorado, I just cannot remember what it's called. And I know there's quite a few actually, especially if we go back to like the 1890s, 1870s era-ish, which I'm pretty sure is when this game is set. So maybe the DSG is what I'm thinking of, and I'm not wrong thinking the DSG, but I have no clue. Because that information has seemingly slipped out of my brain. We're going to clean up a little bit the weeds that I can see that are going to bother me immediately. If we even set off. Like you. Or not you. Guess we'll find out when Montezuma moves forwards and we either run it over and come off the tracks, or we just sail past. But for the first time in the last 43 minutes of this episode, and for the first time in about a month, Montezuma is about to move. I'm going to go and quickly double check the switches down at this end, which thankfully I did because they're not set at all correct. You need to go straight, and you need to be going straight, which will drop me off here. We're going to go there, we're going to toggle that one needs to come off, that one, yeah, there you go. Now we're good. We go to back the brakes off, give the reg a pull, release the handbrake on the contender, and Montezuma moves for the first time in, I believe, 28 days. Possibly longer, might be 5 weeks at this point by the time this episode comes out. I cannot remember. I'm going to double check it now on my phone, given I'm here. No, the last episode came out at the time of recording, 41 and a half days ago. Which means this episode would be, comes out on Monday, bring us to Saturday, for 2 days. Means this episode would be 43 days since the last episode of this series. I am very sorry to all of you who have been waiting eagerly for those 43 days for episode 3 of this series to come out. But it is here. It has arrived, and hopefully, with the heat currently disappearing, we can return to a decent schedule and get this series back underway the way it should be. What I feel like I've left a handbrake on one of these cars. It feels like it's going too slow. No, not there. There won't be one there. 2 here. No and no. And no and no. Okay, so we have not. I haven't left the handbrake off. You guys haven't done anything. You guys are great. You guys just watch the episodes. You guys interact. You guys support. And here I am blaming you guys for the reason I thought the brake's wrong. How could I do that to you guys? You guys don't even have participation in this series, and we've derailed because of one of these little stupid bushes. Well, I guess that serves me right. I should have checked the tracks before running a train down them. I do wish, though, that this game was continuing to be updated, but I believe the dev team have now stopped working on... Well, they stopped working on this game a while ago, I believe, to work on their next narrow gauge railway game, which will be something similar, but I think will expand more into the future. So, like narrow gauge diesels and things, I think. This is all rumours that I've been hearing through Steam discussions and things. The dev team haven't really come out and said much last I checked. So we're gonna have to re-roll everything because of my lack of observations, and that's the wrong way. Montezuma, I need you facing this way, please. Thank you. We're gonna put the link back in here. No, link doesn't go in there. The link goes in the tender. Yep. Tender. Yep. I believe. Nope. You also need to be facing me. Not facing away from me. The link is there. And now to re-rail the flat cars, which I'm going to be honest, I do not care if they're in the number order they were. The number order was great for the first episode, but given how much these cars are probably going to end up moving around, being placed in all sorts of different places, it probably doesn't matter. Now, yep, you've given me space there, and I have space here. Lovely. Brakes off of you. Brakes off of this one. Is that all that came off the track? Yep, all 4 of you are now back on the... Well, no, only 3 of them came off the track. Wait, but how are you? What? How is your coupling weird when the car in front of you, I don't remember re-railing. I remember there being 3 cars off. Unless there was a 4th car, and I'm just completely oblivious. What? I was 2, 3, 4, 5. But car... Oh, because 1, 0. It would have gone 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. How have I done that? How have 1 and 0 stayed on, but not the rest of the train? Keep hitting the bell by accident. Right, do you want to bring this back? So we can link the tender, take the tender brake off, and then we're going to slowly start linking the rest of the train back together. After that unfortunate mishap with weeds on the track, because I was too busy talking to you guys, and I was not paying attention in the slightest to what was going on until it was too late, and the train was falling off the tracks at that point. Not very much you can do when the train is falling off the tracks. You can't save it from that. Right. So that brake off. Run back up to Montezuma before she starts running away this direction. And we're going to throw the reverser forwards. Brake following. Give it a bit of brakes to stop the momentum. And back on our journey we go towards the sawmill. Now, are we going to run into more? Probably. So I'm actually going to have a quick little fly down the track. See if I spot anything. Like these things here. That will be a hamper on the way back. Don't see anything else on this side. This weird tall weed thing, that thing there. This rock could pose a threat. We keep turning around to make sure that Montezuma hasn't fallen off tracks already. But I'm hoping I'm going to do a good enough job now that I shouldn't have to keep turning around. This weird spiky weed really needs to come out of the ground, but I don't know if I can get to it without uprooting the track, which is going to cause issues. I don't know how big this section of track is, or where it goes. Did I just get it, or did I not? don't know. I'm going to wait for it to despawn. Or is it just completely no hitbox? So Montezuma will just fly straight over it and it won't care. I doubt that will be the case. So I'm going to... It doesn't have a hitbox. Okay, this could be fun. Time to do speed building. Time to do some speed building on the rails. Speed. Speed build. Boom. There we go. Lovely. You need to come out. You will need to come out. Because I know how much these little rocks that don't even touch the rail cause issues. There's someone else. Given the Montezuma is still charging towards me, I have faith that I have done a good job so far. Now, what about this weird little weed? Okay, yeah, no, it doesn't have a hitbox. That's why I couldn't get out. Didn't have a hitbox. Oh, good to know. Might as well replace these crossovers while I'm here. And yeah, that's it. That is from the lumber camp to the sawmill. Well, the logging camp, sorry. To the sawmill. I think the lumber camp is Snow Runner. Or Mud Runner. It's a spin tyres game of sorts. One of them. I don't actually remember which. I've played. It's been a while since I played Snow Runner. It's been an even longer time since I played Mud Runner. And it's been forever since I last played spin tyres, so I have no idea about the original Mud Runner game. It's been even longer since then, so I have no clue. Now the moment of truth as to whether I kept these tracks nice, clean and tidy, or if we're going to have to deal with another derailment, because I was sloppy. Hopefully I wasn't too sloppy. But we'll find out. And past the exit to the loop, the entry to the loop, I'm not really sure what we call it. Here is the entrance to our bowyard. Those trees and track. I hadn't noticed that bush. Really? No, stop. Let me out. I can't even get to his hitbox now because the train car's in the way. God damn it. I knew there'd be something. I knew there'd be something that I missed. One little thing that I missed. But I knew I also wasn't going to find it before. Those trees in front of me were just a warning sign that I'd missed something. Before off came Montezuma and the rest of her cars. Well, I guess this is reround number 2 for this journey. At least there is a small silver lining to this situation, and that is that now that I have found all of the spots where the train likes to derail, or the train will be derailed by vegetation that I have left, or rocks that I have left underneath the track, well, it won't happen again. Because I have removed all that vegetation and the rocks and everything else that caused my painstaking derailments. Right, why have you changed your mind now? There we go. Wait, I just remembered something that I could have just used. I don't have to sit and work out which direction wants to go. All I have to do is pick it up and right click. And right clicking swaps the rotation. Look at me being smart. Really wish I remembered that before I faffed around with it the first time and then the second time, but yeah, well. Couple. Leave the brake on you for a sec while I get rid of that. Don't derail coming back this direction. There you go. Throw that on, and then we're going to throw the brake onto this one. 3 cars derail this time. And we're making improvements. It's only 3 cars this time. I mean, ideally it would be none, but remove the brake from the hand from you. We're going to reverse regulator back. Brakes are off. small rush. See if that one little boost has enough momentum to push all these together. I doubt it will, and it does not. Give it a bit of reg. Keep it going. Next will be this one. When that linkage comes into this coupler. There we go. Link them together. Next to this. And linked. And then finally we'll be doing this car, which I'm going to remove the pin from this one. Pin the link from this one, and I'm actually going to take the brakes off. Save me a job. Once this is hooked up, so I can just run straight up to the front. Come on. Come on, Montezuma. I would have thought 7% throttle would have done more than this. Wait slowly. I mean, this is about the speed that I reckon you should be coupling up at. Back in what this is, I think I'm using like a loco from like the 1850s, 1870s maybe. But this is about the speed you want to be coupling with those little like the little O clip things. I don't know what you want to call them. I can't think of what they're called right now. It's annoying me actually. Those little metal like chain links, I guess. That's basically what they are. They're just big chain links. It's probably about the speed you want to be going. Is about like what, 2 miles an hour. Go too fast, and I feel like you snap it or bend it. Although at the same time, I feel like you'd end up snapping or bending them with the amount of force that's getting pulled through them with this length of a train. The way those were all shaking, I don't like that. I'm going to have to go check out that bit of track afterwards. Because I feel like I've left something under the track on one side that isn't tall enough to derail, but is high enough that it will push them around. Double check that all switches are set right. Yep. And that will send me onto this out track here. I think that bridge actually is going to have to wait till next episode, yeah. Because we are running over already. Well, we're about to start running over the time for this episode. So that bridge will actually have to come out next episode. Yeah, that bridge will have to come up with next episode and next week. But most important part is this week we have finally linked the sawmill. And with this delivery of 36 logs, 36 logs, 676, 36. With delivery of 36 logs, we are starting some production here. And I'm just realising now we want to slam the brakes because I have not cleared out this section of track. Handbrake, 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 handbrake. I never went back and cleared out this section of track. Really poor of me. I started it from this direction and I never finished it. But there we go. Stopped in time. Unlike the last 2 times. Mostly because I hadn't seen it last time. But with that all sorted, we are ready. Nope, wrong button. I wanted to zoom the camera out. Or V, not F. Pull forwards again and take the handbrake off. Would also help immensely. But Montezuma and 36 logs are finally going to be arriving at the sawmill. Ready to be dropped off. And that's a very, very good thing. That means we are making progress. So with these beams and planks, I think the next step for beams and planks is here at the iron ore mine. So the iron ore mine and the linkage to the freight depot is going to be our next step, I guess. Unless we wanted to start working with the water well and bringing things over here to the cattle farm, but I feel like we leave the cattle for now because cattle is not part of the industry chain that we're currently working on. Start slowing down. I think we can get all 6 of these cars to line up in the right place. Except for the fact that this thing is not going to slow down very easily without some assistance. Maybe not, actually. I don't know. Bring these handbrakes off. And then break the tender brake off. And we're going to pull forwards very slowly. Bit of a tug, it's fine. As long as at least half the car is within this wooden area, normally the logs will go straight into the lake and they'll be accepted. So about there should be fine. So that will work for you. That'll work for you. Work for you. Work for you. It will work for you. And I'm going to wait and then we're going to test with this one. I don't mind missing out a couple logs right now. So we're going to bring up the menu for money and we're then going to unload you. And it does just. Those logs really want to roll this way and not going to the sell point, but they are going to the sell point. Here, 36 for 100. We now have 34 for 100. We now have some beams and planks being made over there. So I'd say this has been a relatively successful episode. We have finally delivered our load of logs to the sawmill. We're just going to take a quick screenshot of this. Nope, that's scroll lock. That's print screen. Taking a screenshot. My mouse has just died. So this could be an interesting way to end the episode. I cannot turn the camera, so we are stuck like this right now. But we made it to the sawmill. Next episode, we will be connecting up to the iron ore mine and possibly buying a new engine. Please let me know down below if you would like to see grinding for money in XP on screen in videos, or if you'd prefer I did that stuff off camera. Very helpful to know that, because I get the feeling we're going to need a lot of money compared to what we currently have if we want to get to, well, for starters, level 2 in the locos, and for seconds, being able to afford to buy new locos. As always, though, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, night, whatever time it is for you guys when you're watching this. I hope it's amazing. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again next week when episode 4 comes out. But as for now, adios and enjoy yourselves.